Hello everyone, I am Dr. Manas Kumar Das, Director, Orlean College of Pharmacy, Greater Noida. Today I will teach you pathophysiology, the code is BP204T, lecture number 4. Today's lecture is the morphology of irreversible cell injury. Dear students, in earlier lectures we have already studied about the definitions, the homeostasis, the feedback mechanisms, the cell injury, what is cell injury, the different kinds of cell injury, the pathogenesis and the types of reversible cell injury. So, the today's topic is irreversible cell injury. This topic I will cover in the following headings. So, first is introduction, then types of irreversible cell injury, necrosis, causes of necrosis, microscopic changes in necrosis, clinical anatomical forms of necrosis, coagulative necrosis, liquefactive necrosis, caseous necrosis, fat necrosis, fibrinoid necrosis, gangrene, apoptosis, microscopic appearance of apoptosis, normal apoptosis and pathologic apoptosis. So, these are the different headings which I will cover in this presentation. So, first with start with the introduction. So, persistence of the stimuli may be different kinds of stimuli, we have already studied in last PPTs, physical, mechanical, chemical, biological, whatever it is, results in irreversible damage to the structure and function of the cell, that is called cell death. It may occur in the living tissues as a local or focal change. Local or focal, local means in the local area, focal means in the foci, means in the particular center change caused by external factors that is necrosis, or mediated by intracellular genetic programs, that is programmed cell death, what we already studied briefly in the last presentation, apoptosis. After the initiation of irreversible death, the cell and its organelles start to disintegrate, leading to rupture of the cells, intracellular components become extracellular and cause edema. What does it mean? Intracellular components become extracellular, because like the cell wall damaged. So, intracellular components will come to the outside of the cell in the extracellular space, and which will cause the edema. Edema means the swelling of that particular organ will happen. So, irreversible cell injury equal to cell death can occur by two types. What are the two major types? Necrosis and apoptosis. So, that is clear that say irreversible cell injury it produce the cell death, and the reason may be different one for the cell death, and the edema happens because the cell membrane damage. So, the intracellular substance come to the extracellular. So, the edema happens, and there are two types, necrosis and apoptosis. So, come to the types of irreversible cell injury in the broader way. Two types of cell death which differ in their morphologic mechanisms and roles in disease and physiology. So, what is necrosis? This is a premature or untimely death due to different causes. So, this is not a natural death. Necrosis is the premature or untimely death. It is always pathologic. Ischemia, toxins, various infections, trauma, these are the reasons for necrosis. Okay. So, ischemia, toxins, various infections and trauma, these are factors, and this is a premature or untimely death. This is not a natural one. Now, come to the apoptosis. It is normal death. When a cell is deprived of growth factors or of the cell's DNA or proteins are damaged beyond repair, the cell dies. This is psychologic and physiologic and pathologic. There are two types, physiologic and pathologic apoptosis. So, it is a normal death. Unlike the necrosis, it was untimely and premature death, but apoptosis is normal death. So, when a cell is deprived of growth factors or cell DNA proteins are damaged, then it will produce apoptosis, which is called as programmed cell death. That can be physiologic and that can be pathologic. So, come to the term necrosis. This term includes the series of changes that accompany cell death, largely resulting from the degradable action of enzymes on lethally injured cells. So, this is a death process, cell death process. So, degradative functions of enzymes will be there to degrade the organs, degrade the cells, degrade the part of the living organ. Necrotic cells are unable to maintain membrane integrity and their content often leaks out, what we studied in the last slide. So, the intracellular substance come outside and go mix with the extracellular substances, so that the edema happens. The enzymes responsible for digestion of the cell are derived either from the lysosomes of the dying cells themselves or from the lysosomes of leukocytes that are recruited as part of the inflammatory reaction to the dead cells. Okay. Next one, causes of necrosis. There are different causes of necrosis. Which are the different causes? It may be hypoxia, it may be ischemia, it may be hypoxemia. What is hypoxemia? This is loss of oxygen carrying capacity, and what is hypoxia? The loss of the less oxygen, the deprivation of oxygen. Free radical damage, free radical also plays a major role in the cell damage. The chemicals, drugs, toxins, infections, physical agents, immunologic reactions, genetic abnormalities and nutritional imbalance, like protein decrease in the protein content inside the body. So, it will damage the cell membrane in turn. So, these are the nutritional imbalance. Now, come to the microscopic changes in necrosis. So, under electron microscopy, the breakdown of plasma membrane and organellar membrane. So, we can see under the electron microscopy the breakdown of plasma membrane, how the plasma membrane is breaking and what are the organellar membrane changes happening, we can see under the electron microscope. Marked dilation of mitochondria with the appearance of large amorphous densities. So, mitochondria will be dilated, it will be amorphous densities. Disruption of lysosomes, intracytoplasmic myelin figures, that is again another change we can see under electron microscope. Disruption of lysosomes, intracytoplasmic myelin figures. What are the nuclear changes? Culminating in nuclear dissolution. So, nucleus dissolution happens. These are three things, these are very important for short answers: pycnosis, karyohexis and karyolysis. So, we have to know what is pycnosis, what is karyohexis and what is karyolysis. So, pycnosis is nuclear shrinkage. So, you can see in the middle one, this is one, this is the pycnosis. So, what it is? Nuclear shrinkage. See, you can see the nucleus has been shrinked. So, what happens actually? DNA condenses into shrunken basophilic mass. Okay. So, nucleus shrinkage happens. So, this is the pycnosis. Next one is karyohexis. So, what it is? It is nuclear membrane ruptured. So, this is the nuclear membrane ruptured, karyohexis. Where it is? It is karyohexis. So, see the nuclear membrane is when ruptured, nuclear fragmentation. Pycnotic nuclear membrane ruptures and nucleus undergoes fragmentation. So, when the nucleus membrane has been ruptured and the nucleus undergoes fragmentation, it becomes parts and parts. So, this is the karyohexis. Third one is the karyolysis. This is nuclear fading. Karyolysis, complete dissolution of nucleus, loss of chromatin. So, chromatin is lost and the complete dissolution of the nucleus happens. Chromatin dissolution due to action of DNase and RNase. So, these are the enzymes DNase and RNase which in turn cause the chromatin dissolution. Chromatin dissolution. So, in all the three cases there will be nuclear dissolution afterwards and a nuclear necrotic cells will be seen. So, nucleus has been damaged and cell will become nuclear, no nucleus in the cell. So, this is I think it is very clear the what is pycnosis, what is karyohexis and what is karyolysis. Pycnosis is shrinkage of the nuclear, karyohexis is the nuclear membrane ruptured and karyolysis is the complete dissolution of nucleus and loss of chromatin. Next one, clinical anatomical forms of necrosis. Several morphological distinct patterns of tissue necrosis which may provide clues about the underlying causes. Okay. Coagulative necrosis, liquefactive necrosis, caseous or cheese like necrosis, fat necrosis and fibrinoid necrosis. Coagulative necrosis, it is a form of tissue necrosis in which the component cells are dead, but the basic tissue architecture is preserved for at least several days. It mostly happens from sudden cessation of blood flow, ischemic necrosis, that is where the sudden cessation of blood flow happens in ischemic necrosis, and less often from bacterial and chemical agents. It is most commonly affected organs are heart, kidney, spleen. And macroscopy of the coagulative necroscopy is whitish film protruding above and surrounding tissue. Microscopy of the coagulative necrosis is the necrotic cells are swollen and have more eosinophilic cytoplasm. So, nuclear damage, nuclear changes of pycnosis, karyohexis and karyolysis which we already studied, eventually fragmentation of cells happens. So, you can see this is the coagulative necrotic cell, this is the normal kidney cell. Okay. So, here we can see the necrotic areas whitish film protruding above surrounding tissue. So, you can see the white areas which is protruding to the surrounding tissues and that is there is a whitish and film protruding above surrounding tissues, that is the necrosis area and that is the coagulative necrosis. Liquefactive necrosis. Liquefactive necrosis, the term is already saying that it is some liquid is that is some degeneration of the tissues and that will be some liquefied portion can be seen. So, in the necrotic degeneration of tissues that softens and becomes liquefied, that is called liquefied necrosis. Lysosomal enzymes released by necrotic cells or neutrophils caused liquefaction of tissue. What is the macroscopy? The affected area is soft with liquefied center containing necrotic, later a cyst wall is formed. So, first it is liquefied center, after that a cyst wall is formed. Microscopically, the cyst wall is formed by proliferating capillaries, inflammatory cells and proliferative glial cells in case of brain, and proliferating fibroblast in the case of abscess cavity. So, this is the microscopically view. So, what can be seen? Cyst wall is formed in proliferating capillaries, inflammatory cells and proliferative glial cells in case of brain, and proliferative fibroblast in the case of abscess cavity. Caseous necrosis, variant of combined features of coagulative and liquefactive necrosis. This is cheese like caseous, is found in the center of foci of tuberculosis infection. In the tuberculosis, you can see the caseous necrosis. Macroscopic gross change, foci of the caseous necrosis resembles dry cheese and are soft, granular and yellowish. And microscopic changes, the center of necrosed focus contain structureless scattered granular debris of disintegrated nuclei. So, these are the features of microscopic features and macroscopic features of caseous necrosis, which can be seen in the tubercular patient. Fat necrosis, it is the special form of cell death in fat rich anatomical locations of the body. Pancreas in acute pancreatitis, activation of pancreatic lipase causing hydrolysis of triglycerides. In fat cells, conversion of fatty acids into soap, that is saponification, combination of fatty acids and calcium. Macroscopic gross appearance, chalky yellow white deposits in peripancreatic and omental adipose tissues. Microscopy, pale outlines of fat cells filled with basophilic staining calcified areas. Traumatic fat necrosis, it occurs in fat tissues, that is female breast tissue as a result of trauma. So, these are the different kind of fat necrosis we can see in human body. Pancreas, in fat cells we can see this kind of fat necrosis. This is next to the fibrinoid necrosis. It is a special form of necrosis characterized by deposition of fibrin like material. It is limited to small muscular arteries, arterioles, venules and glomerular capillaries. In connective tissue disease, it can be seen immune vasculitis, that is polyarthritis nodosa in case of malignant hypertension. So, these are the some conditions where fibrinoid necrosis can be seen. It can be seen in the glomerular capillaries, in arterioles, in venules, in some immune vasculitis, in some malignant hypertension. Gangrene. Gangrene is necrosis of tissue associated with supraadded putrefaction, most often following coagulative necrosis due to ischemia. So, ischemia is a main cause, the blood supply has been stopped. So, you can see the black areas, that is the gangrene area, and in the lower area this is the healthy tissue area. Example, gangrene of limb, gangrene of bowel. Gangrenous or necrotizing inflammation is characterized primarily by inflammation due to massive tissue necrosis by virulent bacteria. So, bacteria is also responsible, some mechanical damage is responsible. So, gangrenous appendicitis, gangrenous stomatitis, these are the different examples of gangrene which may happen inside our body also. You can see the outside of the body, any organ maybe the gangrene may form because of the ischemia, because of the this is the coagulative necrosis may occur, and even inside the body like appendicitis and stomatitis, that can also may be gangrenous. There are two main types of gangrene, dry gangrene, wet gangrene. Another gas gangrene is also there, which is a type of special type of wet gangrene only. The dry gangrene begins in distal part like toe and feet in old patients due to severe atherosclerosis of arteries. Wet gangrene, the second one, wet gangrene, it occurs in moist tissue and organs like bowel, lung, mouth, cervix, etc. Diabetic foot ulcer and bed sores are also examples of wet gangrenes. Third one is gas gangrene, which is a special form of wet gangrene only. Special form of wet gangrene caused by gas forming Clostridia, a gram positive bacteria, which enters through open contaminated wound. If there is any wound, the bacteria, the Clostridia, which is a gram positive bacteria, enters the body and it causes the gas gangrene. Gangrene in muscles after roadside injury, that is the example of gas gangrene, which actually is a type of wet gangrene only. Now, come to the apoptosis, where here we will have to study this elaborately. A cell death that is induced by a tightly regulated suicide program. A cell is deprived of growth factor, or the cell's DNA or proteins are damaged beyond repair. These are the conditions when apoptosis may occur. Either the growth factor has been deprived, the cell is deprived of the growth factor, or the DNA and or proteins are damaged, which cannot be repaired. So, there are two the mitochondrial path, that is the most often taken path in apoptosis, and the death receptor pathway, this one is cytotoxic T lymphocytes. So, here you can see this is the cell, normal cell, this is chromatin condensation, this is the membrane blebbing, this is the blebbing, and nuclear collapse, this is the apoptotic body formation. So, like this way the apoptosis occurs either due to the deprivation of growth factor or by the damage of the DNA or protein which cannot be repaired. This is microscopic appearance of apoptosis, normal and pathologic. Normal means it is programmed, serve to eliminate potentially harmful cells and cells that have outlived their usefulness, which are already functioned for so many days, so many years. Now, they are not useful, that can be dead by the programmed cell death, that is called the normal. Pathologic, which is associated with necrosis. Cell detachment from neighboring cells, diploid eosinophilic staining cytoplasm, pycnosis, fragmented or absent nucleus apoptotic bodies, and no inflammatory infiltrate surrounding the cell. This is the normal apoptosis. These are the examples: embryogenesis, implantation, organogenesis, development, involution, metamorphosis. This is hormonal involution, such as endometrial cell breakdown during the menstrual cycle and regression of the lactating breast. Cell loss in proliferating cell population, such as intestinal crypt epithelia. Some post inflammatory cleanup, neutrophils is an acute inflammatory response, and lymphocytes at the end of immune response, like elimination of potentially harmful self reactive lymphocytes and cytotoxic T cells cleaning. So, pathologic apoptosis, there are some pathologic factors like after duct obstruction, cell injury in certain infections like in tumors, delayed apoptosis, slow cell death. So, these are the different pathologic apoptosis. So, like after duct obstruction, pathologic atrophy in the pancreas, parotid glands and kidney. In cell injury, in certain infections like in viral infections, particularly in loss of some infected cells is largely due to the apoptotic death. So, this is about the irreversible type of cell injury. Thank you.